Zhang Qinlin, a 18-year-old Chinese freelance comic writer, stares intently at her work with tired eyes. Her assistant enters the room with her medicine. Zhang tells her to leave it on the table. However, her assistant is aware she's been writing for over 20 hours straight. It's currently 12 a.m. She tells her assistant to go and rest. Her assistant, with a slight annoyed expressions, tells her she should be the one to rest. She's scared that she'll disappear once she takes her eyes off her. Her assistant has always been the one to take care of her even though she's younger than her. Though her body hasn't always been in the best condition. Suddenly she begins to cough and blood spurts from her mouth. Her assistants rush to her aid and tells her to take her medicine. Her assistant tells her they are going to the hospital. However, Zhang eyes slowly close, then she falls on the ground lifeless, at the Carpal Empire. Malvern Duke Hall. When she wakes up once again, she finds herself in a very peculiar situation. She wonders who she is, where she is and why she's there. A man with blonde hair and green eyes and spectacles inquires if she's feeling well. She screams and tells him not to come any closer, but as a result she has finally understood the situation. She has become the villaness in her own comic. This comic is called Book of Hua. It talks about the chance encounter between a girl from Hua Yu Kingdom and the prince of the Carpal Empire. Carpal Abner, Chen Qi. However, a comic without a villain is boring. If a kind main character exists, there's bound to be evil lurking in the shadows. Amy Melvern, a girl that stands opposing the main character. As the intimidating appearance of a bully and the royal identity of a duke's daughter. In order to fulfill her objective, she's willing to use any underhanded tactics. Despite putting herself at risk and dirtying her own hands with crimes. She remains fearless. She's extreme and ruthless, beautiful yet dangerous. A character like her who decided to take her own life as the ending to her appearance in the story after her plans were exposed. She inquires who is the man before her. Seemingly nervous and uneasy, he introduces himself as the most loyal butler, Dean. He inquires if she's going to dismiss him. She apologizes and states that she doesn't know who he is. The butler is so stunned that he faints from the shock. After that, Mr. Dean regained his usual composure immediately. In the original story, he's Amy's personal butler. She's feeling a slight déjà vu being taken care of by someone of her own creation. Even though she was able to trick Dean, the next challenge quickly followed. At Malvern Duke Hall, the first floor study, Dean reveals to Sir Alan that Amy may have lost her memories. He's a young boy with blue darkish eyes, white hair and a very adorable face. He gets up abruptly, which scares her. He immediately hugs her. That it's great news that she's willing to stay. She begins to blush as she falls into a daze. She yells that he's too close. Alan nervously apologizes, stating that it's because she was out cold for a few days and now she's finally conscious, so he got too excited. Dean inquires on what they will tell the Lord. Alan tells him it's not a problem to deal with him and what's important is that Amy's fine. Amy and Alan stare at one another and both are thinking that each other is cute. They hold each other, then she realizes that his face has almost enchanted her. She pushes him away and creates some distance. She then hides behind Dean. She wonders what would happen if he picked up on some kind of clue and who she is, and she doesn't know why she can't remember. It then hit her. She remembers that this is an NPC that appeared in a flashback in the original story. Alan Melvern, Amy's twin brother. He was poisoned to death on his 12th birthday, so he doesn't have much screen time. Her heart aches for that evil that she created. He feels worried and asks if she doesn't remember him and that he is her brother. Her guilt doubled. She tried to speak but only spoke nonsense. She's so terrified that she lost her ability to speak. She then have the idea to just run away. She slowly walks away and she runs away and exclaims that she has something to do and runs off. Sometimes leaving is an unavoidable option, although escaping is an embarrassment. It is proven to be effective. Dean is impressed by how fast she ran away. Alan then informed him that father is returning. As she's running, she runs into someone. She immediately apologizes and a handsome young man with red eyes and white hair responds, how could he blame his darling princess? He kneels down and asked if he hurt her. he commented she looked very tired. She wonders how he's designed differently from the others. She is sure she didn't draw him. She holds his shirt and requests to know who he is. He feels as if he was stabbed in the heart. He pat her head with a very intimidating aura around him. He introduces himself as Kano. Although he's smiling on the outside, he's burning with murderous intent. Suddenly a maid appeared. He tells her to summon Alan and Dean. Alan and Dean sweat nervously, as the angry Kano with Amy on his lap inquires about the situation. In a furious tone he asks why his daughter doesn't remember him. When he revealed that he is her father, she realized that he is Fornert Morwen. However, she did not make the Duke in the original. Alan explains that a few days ago Amy suddenly disappeared from the manor. At that moment they all stare at her. She wonders why they're looking at her and she cannot help them with whatever they want. Even though no one there asked her about anything, the atmosphere felt very awkward. Sensing that her young miss needs help, the maid hurried to her side, then picks her up and states that they can keep talking and she'll take care of the lady. With shaking hands, Kano tells her to give him back his daughter. She states if she really wants her to hear everything they're going to say. She takes her leave and exits with a victorious grin. They wave goodbye. But the atmosphere immediately changed to serious. Their father states the moment he left, the royalty snooped to kidnapping. Alan explains that the royals did not kidnap Amy, but she disappeared without a trace. Their father states that in a few days him and Amy will go to the palace. He'll have them provide an explanation in person. Alan exclaims yes, seeing that Amy is still alive. He wonders who was the girl who died in her place. She thanks the maid. With a gentle smile she asked her to call her Kanor. But Amy's attention is preoccupied by Kanor wings. She touches her wings and Kanor screams. Kanor informs her that's her wings and that she can't touch them. Amy apologizes and states she thought they were accessories. Kanor explains that she's not human, so her ears are different. As expected from a fantasy world, non-humans exist. She decides other than being a statue she should initiate the attack. And explore. At the shopping district, Amy is surprised. Everything she's drawn in the past has come to life. She feels as if she's traveled abroad, but she wonders why Dean is there too. In a flashback she informed Alan that she would like to go outside. But sadly he couldn't leave as he had too much work. But luckily one handsome blonde man was available. He entered the room with a rose in his mouth like a handsome stallion. He announced that he would provide her with the most wonderful outdoor excursion experience. They feel he's being very cringe and Miss Amy feels as if she doesn't want to go outside anymore. Dean reminds her that it's your first request from the time she's woken up. He becomes serious and tells her he must take good care of her. But if Amy isn't happy he'll get rid of him. Dean smirks with a thumbs up and tells him that it's no problem. He inquires if she would like to try something. She takes it from him and thanks him. She thinks he's quite nice and handsome, but he's sometime too ecstatic. Dean then asks her to wait as a Halakon bakery just launched their new pastries. So he plans to get some for her. She reflects and thinks that the world seemed very beautiful with a peaceful atmosphere. And other than the cultural difference, it is not too different from the modern world. Suddenly she heard loud screaming. She was shocked but kept on eating. A young noble girl calls someone an uncivilized peasant. A boy covered in dirt apologizes. She angrily states that he soiled her clothes. He grabs her clothes and tells her he's sorry. She tells him to unhand her. He cries and begs for her to spare his life. She shouts at him to let go. Amy thinks that he is weird. His reaction makes it seem like the noble is harassing him, but in reality he is the one not letting go of her dress. The kid then grabbed Amy's dress and asked her to save him. There are many adults on the street, so she wonders why he's coming to her when she currently does not look like a noble. The noble girl then noticed that she is Amy. She knows her as a half-wit of the ducal household. She approaches Amy and states that her shabby outfit suits her. Amy casually states that compared to her cabbage-looking dress, she thinks hers looks a lot better. She takes a moment to comprehend. Her face turns red and she becomes angry. she exclaimed that Amy is the one who looks like a cabbage and that she's a tacky and tastelessly half-wit. Amy responds that she has a short fuse and the boy takes this moment to sneak away. Penny states that at the end of the day she's only a lifeless doll who just sits around staring into space. She inquires what got her into the spirit of talking back. Penny tells her to crawl back home like a stray dog she is. Amy then inquires which family she is from. The girl shouts if she doesn't know who she is. She states that she's the rising star of the social realm. The young lady of the Bayard Viscounty Penny Bayard. Amy, knowing that she's higher in rank, wonders what she's so pleased about. She sighs and thinks that she's just a kid who doesn't know anything. She then decides that she'll just scare her a bit. Her face hardens like stone. In the ducal mansion, Amy's brother wonders how she's doing. Before she lost her memories, she was a child who resembled a lifeless doll. There was no life in her eyes, and no spirit to her movements. It was as if she was an intricate human doll, a docile robot, although she's much livelier now. Out of habit, he still can't help but worry for her. It's extremely frustrating. He decides to finish his work after he returns. Penny says that she shouldn't think she'll get scared just because she puts on a stern face. Amy tells her that she's mistaken about something. Penny seems startled. Amy informed her that in terms of ranking she's above her. She places a hand on her shoulder and states in terms of wealth her family is above hers. She then applied pressure on her shoulder. Amy tells her to look at who she is and examine her own position. Amy looks deeply into her eyes and asks if she's ready to face the consequences of defying someone of a higher ranking than them. Penny pushes her away and exclaims that she shouldn't come any closer. She averts her gaze while blushing and exclaims that she's sorry. She runs away and stated that her name is Penny and she shouldn't forget. She wonders what that girl is blushing about, unknowing to her. She is being watched by a dark-haired young boy with red and purple eyes. He's happy that the child did not have any ill intent. He wonders where Dean is and why he isn't by the princess's side. The boy from earlier states that he had completed the task. But it didn't seem very effective. His master tells him it's fine, but things are getting quite difficult. Because this little Amy won't be so easy to manipulate. The boy trembles. Dean states that it seems he's been discovered by the cute, loyal little knight. Dean asks what can he do about it, as it's not like he can get rid of him. The boy becomes furious. To Dean, as long as Emmy is alive and breathing, she will never be able to leave him, not until her life comes to an end. The boy, becoming creeped out by the situation, frantically asks to be allowed to leave. Dean waves and tells him that he should go, because if he doesn't leave now he will never be able to forever. Loyal Knight tries to strike him, but he uses the magic barrier to block the attack.